Also, US, hello, space breaks are nothing, 221 July 20th is nothing when it cycles after you smash the original Jamila's head in on the bus lines. Now, you don't understand the intel behind that. Now, the pink was cancer with Benjamin Obore. Jamila was grey, black and white, mostly grey, and that's old news on the news, the India says. The nails with 221 Dove Holland is old news. It's like gone with the wind already. So don't have any pretenses for the empty buildings and space technology. If they added cancer, you see, the brother of the mother did sciences in Warsaw University. He's 96. He said that Poland was really mass media is all news on the news. Benjamin Obore, that's peak. It's easy. You came from Russian Mir. Same with the cousin of the father. Cairo. The sciences, ag, space sciences, nauki. You have to go to Saudi Arabian Mir. So, but that's all news on the news. That's already empty at Los Angeles and Massachusetts and other places. Now, the stalkers on electoral police is what caused the Italian Bundestag Tribunal, aka the Roman Pink Gas Tribunal, the psychos following me. What the girl was good at was something else. So obviously, if I was conceived in Saudi Arabia, born in Rome with the others, even in the Vatican, but you don't understand that, Vatican is interested in space tech, like the Da Vinci Code. Literally, I don't speak about it because I'm not that girl. The nails, I only have the eyebrows. That's why the eyebrows are platinum. I told you they fell with the girl, Mermaid, Titanic. That's all news. The fools, all of them. Because it was something big. They didn't say something, historic happened and it was the big one, the big shot, gone to the south and we bring back. Boo, boo. And then it's not even her and they hate her. Because they're American. America! They can't even reopen the big ass cans. So, forget it. So it's not a question of corporate. It's a question of retards and haters. That's why you have stalkers in Bristol Fresno. Anyway, that's what we call your extras. So when I was in Rome, they were speaking about Dr. Parrott and stuff. They were saying that these are cycles, whether it's Heine from Hell's Angels or others. And they're saying that the psych ward in Fresno is dangerous, get other doctors. We already did that long ago. That's how we got me out. And this was recent. Because at the beginning of Asswipe, there was Trapped Crabby. But the girl had already had her head smashed in on the coastlines. And these hard nails that they were speaking about. Be strong, for the dad, for the mom, for yourself, connect the dots for wise different paths. That's all news on the news. It's not something it's not even news, not at least by definition. So when I said to you the sciences was something else, I meant it. That's what I exist for. Relic of that. Now, mostly when you smash somebody's head on the ghost lines, they don't come back in any shape or format. That's why I said to you, I don't like format. So the losses already happened. And in the Vatican when I was there was, and this is what I was trying to explain, a mausoleum of a female. On the right, there's another hospital, the main one in St. Peter's, and 2 gigantic palms on the sides above the building, and some small cacti on the sides, on the ground. Behind, there is a London double-decker bus. On the side, there is Rome, the Vatican, a lot of people, and on the left, there's Iran. And on the walls. And they're saying to me, this is all news on the news. So try to survive as Disneyland. I said, survive as Disneyland? And they're yes, because, you were a phenomena in sciences, just like the Chinese and the Russians, Germans, the Italians said, and the UN. And the Americans smashed your head in on the coastlines and you are a replacement child. In other words, the Scotland film. So the poppy fields of sciences are on the coastlines, not in Fresno. Fresno is where the parents are on retirements. So, it's not a question of that many flyings, that many runnings of that girl. And eventually, they smashed the head of that girl. And I came out as a phoenix. So this is how you lose and how you lost intel. So no amount of PhDs is even going to reopen the pink ass cancer of Benjamin Ofori, who was from Ghana and was the director of cancer in Scotland and Canada. So you called me terrorist, but you are the terrorists in the US. So they always get me out of Fresno, but getting the baby out or doing connect the dots with wise the globals, that I can do, even if it's difficult. Because even if I'm not myself, but I'm still in the company of intel of that kind. And when I said that kind, they were not even kind. You know, so when they were speaking about inner circles, they weren't kidding. So July 20 of the 21st century, or Delft, Holland, the number social security from Graft City, genetic. So if you had the intelligence before, and you were denying, you speak about the Iranian library. I'm telling you, nothing in Iran. Bin Laden is better than Mossad. The thing is, you see, they did the same with Hitler. For thousands of years, they treated the Jewish tribes as undermen, Untermensch, under, below. And then eventually, like after World War II, World War I, World War II, they actually gave them a piece of land, and all of a sudden they were the gods, the chosen people. They've been brainwashed with Zionism and colonialism, of the land of Palestine. Everyone had land on this great earth of 220 countries. And, I don't see anyone coming back and saying, how much from Madagascar, the islander, or Australia, or somewhere in Russia, or wherever they wanted to put the Jews. Now you see, these stalkers are mostly Jewish. They claim that they are from Mexico or El Salvador. They're Israelis. Even Heine is Jewish, the Hells Angels guy from Fresno. Sure, they can be in federal prison in Los Angeles, but they are born in Fresno. Tom and Jerry Tartal locally must have scared them. That's it. He's his own criminal. Because remember, you see, when you deal with intel all your life, you know that, but you also know what you're good at, and you know why you connected the dots with West Globals in 80 countries. You have to understand that the reason pink ass can't open, even pink ass cancer, is because you're fucking retards in the US. Benjamin Ofori. That's what you are. That's why you hate me. Even at the Knox, the lady downstairs, or gentleman downstairs, is probably Jewish. Hates my ass. Beyond compare. I am here because they sent me back. Why? Because if I do so many flyings and so many runnings on my crawlies of Disneyland, does it matter? Would I move to China? I already did 4 years of literal crawlies, to the East Coast and abroad. I already did that. I did 4 years and a half abroad in Western Europe and in the Mediterranean, and they sent me back. The T-shirts of Havana have been there ever since. When they say that you bombed the shit out of that sheep whore's ass of Fresno, you could have, but politically correctly, they'll say headache. They'll say space bomb. They'll say 696969 with the T-shirts, umbrellas, the whole shit. It doesn't matter which state or which country. It's all over us. The girl was famous for that shit in science. That shit is taken. You don't like the J-Lo concept because you fuckers can't reopen that shit yourselves. So, not even the pink shit of cancer. So when I said to you that that girl was a leader of that she grew up with those guys in the basements and metros, with the Blumhouse, with the Falls, with that intel in the UN and Western Europe, when I told you that that had already happened 221 July 20th, and it's getting worse, and I can't control it because I'm yacht. Now, if you had the intel before and then eventually you killed it on the coastlines, that's the poppy fields. And that's where your pretenses come in. If Disneyland can explain that to you over and over again, and it's all news on the news, and it's a Scott Glenn film, there's no loss to stay in Rome by now. I'm sure they have dentists there even for pink ass. And if there is some blues, which is extremely unusual after smashed in head on the coastlines, you would have to go and talk to the inner circles in Western Europe, who were the scientists from Russia and from Saudi Arabia and the UN. So don't insult Basler and German airspace when you tell, and they're saying she was a phenomena. I named my daughter or my niece after her. She's dead. She was flying, she's running. She's dead. I can only get to her when she's dead. That's not really her, Laura non c'è. It became colloquial. But there is something about that girl, even in pink and in blues. There's no question of all the blessings on the planet for that poor girl. You're having fun. That's what we call Schadenfreude Junior. So everyone knows this. The reason they know is because of your hate. And it's unusual. It's unusual that they brought back something like that, who's not even herself. I'm 50 years old, 51 years old. I'm out of Fresno, over 10 years. Down the block at Dolores, there is the psychos from Fresno who allowed them in Frisco. So it's not high school. You know, high school will speak about Jodie Foster. In high school. I was out of high school. When did I do DIB? I passed high school when I was 15. I was really in the UK for college at 15. So those president's kids were saying to me, you stick out like a sore thumb here. You don't have money, but you have sponsors. And so by 15 the same, college free, almost free. So you have not understand. You don't understand. You haven't understood and you don't understand. In other words, you're idiots. You're just idiots. The psychos are your extras. If you were a patriot, then you would reopen my buildings in space technology. And they will get rid of the psychos. Because you have a history of federal prisoner. You can follow me everywhere you want. They'll kill you. Just like they did Grabsky. Because in Western Europe, what they do is they just bump them off, don't they? There's a man who was supposed to kill me, Grabsky, who was Ukrainian, who had killed 2 Polish people and spent 25 years in Warsaw federal prison, who was from Ukraine, with a Polish name in the south of Przemysl. That asshole had suicided so many times in his life since he was 5 years old. He had spent 2 years in London. Now, I started trekking in January, February of 2017. After 4 years of all the new, I won't call it news, after the worse. The cement trucks and the crawlies and the little crawlies, mostly the little crawlies. What I would say to you is this. It was news because for them, they don't consider it news. They consider it Western revolutions. Why? Because if you tell somebody to get rid of Fresno, if you tell somebody that there's a Scotland film to stay in Rome for retirements, and you tell the hanging benches of Laura Quintus in the Supreme Court in DC, with who I was born, Natalie Direct in Brussels, defending both parents at the age of 5, that many times to bomb the shit out of Fresno or get rid of those assholes in Fresno for the parents or retirements. That many flyings beyond the library in other locations of Washington, D.C., other than the library altogether. 92, 92 and above. The runnings of that girl, 85, 85, that many times, above the libraries. One library, sorry, above the library. Behind the library. And in fact, it's a little, you see, it's not only above and behind the library, it's a little, I'll explain. The third foot of the vase, as it says, is above and behind, and then goes down like this on steps and behind the library, the feet. With the mother, they get her, the second, there's mountains and there's his, and then it starts going and hits the head of the library. The third one of the mother is to a little alley to the side, and there's walk. Why? Then there's further mountains. So there's mountains, hills, and more mountains. And I just come out of the front. While Black Lives Matter, the Black Baptist Church is in front of the library, and the worship is 2 floors down on the ground. Why? Out of respect for the parents. Because it's not Black Lives Matter for both parents. So, you're assholes. And bitches. And you will never reopen Jamila's buildings. You smashed the original girl's head on the coastlines. Her bones are lying on your coastlines with her head smashed and her teeth. And all that intelligence, other than she passed Benjamin Ofori cancer at the age of 5, and pink ass, I wasn't pink. I was grey, black and white. Now, considering this old news on the news, and why did they bring me back? I could see coming from China and I didn't give a shit. My kids are not a PhD abata. Much for Delve. So when they brought back Disneyland of me, the reason they did that, crab to crabby, is to show you what the fuck you lost on the coastlines. Not for you to send me your fucking psychos and try to rape me and hurt me. Of course they're shooting your ass. You're mentally retarded. We're past stupid times here. But me alone. I don't know how they did the genetics. I told you it was shipped to yacht. The guys fell in their plan mass there. More than 9 the guys I hanged out with. I'm going to hang out. Anyway, that's what you get. So it's not a question of the Italians at La Sapienza or Martin Snowden with the Plum Hairs and the others and the scientists, Russians or Saudis or also international, Cairo. No, it's a question of you lost that intel on the coastline. So when they were speaking about short bridges, when they were speaking about something historic in the UN or in Western Euro German airspace, it's gone. I'm gone. I'm not that girl. That's that. That's whole. So keep your girlfriends and boyfriends. I don't give a shit in this formats. It's just not the same person. It can be a genius for all I know. But it's not her, right? So when you speak about J-Lo and beautiful, the concept of space science, the concept of all that you smashed on the coastlines is old news on the news the next. So when the US loses that amount, they said it was history. So don't call me the terrorist again, Heini or anyone else, because you'll end up dead. Especially if you're Hell's Angel, especially if federal prisoners and psychos from Fresno. We know who sent you. These are extras. I used to be on the coastlines. Fresno's for the parents on retirements. The hanging benches of Lara Quintus and Ali Direct defending them. That many flies, many runnings, and that many goalies of me. You don't have to send your fucking extras. You know, Dirk-Jan van Den was sitting there going, we already have the Hague and the Bureau de Veritas. And I was like, yeah, we're going to have the Italian Federal Tribunal, Roman Tribunal, maybe we even have a second Hague for the fun of these assholes. Schadenfreude Jr. Get to the blessings around the world. So when they said that I was a timed baby, a timed genetic baby, and I only have 1472221 left of that social security number in those genetic scores in the UN, the reason they were saying that was because this girl connected the dots for Western robots in those 80 countries, 81 for Europe. USA! And now, considering that there was a big-ass ship to yacht with Jamila, and you're still fucking denying that, I don't care for your racism. I don't care for your race. I don't care for anything of that shit. Especially if you're speaking about science, system, tech, and space shit for July 20th of 221, my birthday. That's all news on the news. You better recover your own PhDs up your ass. That's all news on the news. In other words, you can hate me. The kingdom coming back like this. It won't make a difference. You're retards. You're stupid and you're retards. And we're going to keep your retards away from the baby. Unless they want Schadenfreude Jr. kill near the end. So that guy suicided Grabsky. So that's why Heini went abroad and everything. The reason they're doing it is because they want to show that they are. You see, if you put mice together who are in federal prison in shelters from Fresno to Frisco, and they're all stalkers or killers, and already have been in LA, San Quentin prison, what they do, I love you. They'll pick the least bad guy, then they'll start fighting for position. And because the girl is tired after all the trekkings, and you see, if somebody suicides the 26th time in front of you, in London, in front of you, in front of your eyes, you got your limits with Grabsky. They know that. I'm not Marilyn Monroe now. But they're showing something else. They're showing that they can sue you even for that. They can show billions because it's a Schadenfreude Jr. kill. So even worse, because it's worse than a hate crime. Because that shit on the coastlines is getting empty because I'm already dead. So if you kill the innocent one, who is the bystander, the India's puffing on the coastlines for your fun, for your entertainment. Fresno is something else. As I quote him, Fresno already was sued, everything. Dr. Parrott was ready. They knew way ahead of time. Shit, they even predicted that that girl was going to have his head smashed in on the coastlines. From Western Europe, from London, from Rome, even from Germany, from Berlin, also internationals, Russia, Saudi Arabia, the UN. Not just the flyings and the runnings. You're animals. Even on the crawlies of the bay. But why? So when you speak about patriotism, see what the fuck you lost in this country. You won't even reopen the pink ass guns. Excuse me. You will understand why. That's all news on the news. Ah, you have so many other problems in the US, you fucking retards. Is it? So let's say, you see that? Sounds like Dar es Salaam neighborhoods. Anyway, let's say we have the roof has, say, here, right? We have mountains, we have hills, and we have that. More hills and then steps behind. Behind. Well, this one has just mountains and then coming down and then heat right there. So they're together, okay? I'm right here. And then we have, for this one, come out, little alley, come out here, and then more mountains on this side. And I was somewhere there on the coastlines. So think of that little pink light right there. That's me. Okay. So this is what we call murder. Okay, murder. Murder of heightened intel. And people in the US who don't believe that there are phenomena that break space science from Russia or Saudi Arabia or the UN, which I was, my birthday. They added cancer in the lowlands in New York and Poland. Benjamin Ofori was there. Why? Because, from Ghana. Because they said it was something good. So while you still keep calling me motherfucking number one, junior, the problem was the other 80 countries. They thought that that girl was in danger. So, other than all the blessings for 221 Holland Delft of the Bilderberg Antichrist, those guys, Dirk Van Damme and the others, they're just looking at you like a mentally retarded nation. Stupid, mentally retarded, bitchy and everything. They're saying that girl is not even Jamila. The only thing she has in common is the eyebrows. Her eyes were big, her nose was straight, long, her face was long, nails were different. Some people believe that the crab to Krabby was the original girl because she's strong like a crab. And now I'm just... So I live in the house. I'm the trained poodle in the house. And whatever was lost on the coastlines that you could see coming from China, and you already knew because it's all news on the news, the bridge is all news on the news, Gone with the Wind, the child, that's the losses. That was the proverbial loss of the Vatican. So when the Vatican says, don't you remember what we were saying to you about Benjamin Ofori, pink and grey and black and white and da-da-da-da? The Da Vinci Code sort of thing film, you were something else. You had your head smashed in, the US is losing intel, there was a big ship to yacht. I say, yeah, but that's all news on the news. I don't have pretenses. They say, yeah. Then why are they trying to kill me? Why are they trying to make me crazy? Why are they trying to rape me? Why are they sending federal prisoners after this innocent one? Because they're fucking American. She has America. I'm looking at the Vatican and I'm saying to myself, I realize that you give me all the blessings and and you don't care whether I was Chinese or black, Asian or black or whatever race or ethnicity. I realize that. But don't you think this is all news on the news? Proverbial void. Stick it up your PhDs, fucking horse. This is the literal number 221 Delft speaking to you. Literal. Imagine they brought back Disneyland to make you feel good inside. Like Mother Teresa of Calcutta. My PhDs. I don't care if it's our Chinese, you're fucking retarded on the coastlines. Even that. So going back to Fresno for the parents, the flyings, the runnings, and the crawlies and the crawlies and me, they were born in pioneer camps beyond the capital cities. Biashitz is Russian, Norilsk is Turk. Grandma is Turk. Grandpa is Arab, Saudi, Cairo, Egypt. And the mother is mostly Russian and Polish. The brother of the mother may be Nauki, But he's 96 years old in Warsaw University. If you're looking at Nauki in Poland for the last 96 years, with the history of the Eastern Bloc, the gay Russians had a bit of a say on that one, didn't they? I'm not saying that the Polish and the Eastern Bloc don't have their own intelligence. I mean, you're the best. The best! Including Luxembourg and Austria. Yeah! Jawohl! Shit! That's empty! And you're still saying to me that it killed a baby. What the heck? Well, the Bureau de Veritas and getting empty with a ship to yacht. That's the old news on the news. You fucker, reopen that fucking piece of shit. You can't even reopen the pink shit. Why? Cancer. Shut! Jawohl, on your mouth. In other words, the Scotland film covers it. So that's what the girl used to do. Their jobs are directorates, D1s, humanitarian relief services, and they're the ones, dropping aid, rice, flour, medicine. That's like all of Africa, all of Asia, all of South America. Papa more than Mama. He been to 160, 180 countries doing that. Mama, 140 countries. And that's it. Mama and Papa lived in Turkey for 2 years. It was before or after they married. Anyway, so, working for the UN. USA, UN, everything. So, OSH was called Office of Special Relief Operations. Later on, it became TCOR, a few years before he retired. And then, and USAID. So, I'm going to Picasso. They're retired in Fresno, motherfucker. Fresno's intelligence sits in us. Tell me. The hospital, the nursing homes, the girlfriends, the shootout. This. In other words, the fame of Fresno. All over the world, and back that many flies, that many runnings of that girl. What is this? The child came out from the coastlines, so did Satan, and came back. They call you Satanists in the US on the coastlines. Whole fucking Western Europe turned out. They're dumping, I don't know how much fucking blessings on this one, and I'm like, I'm not that girl. I got desperation. I need to speak about desperation. Fresno was a hanging bench with black benches and how Tom and Jerry Dyer Dolls. For instance, Sonia Rocha and Jennifer Segura are prison guards for Tom and Jerry Dyer Dolls. They became directors of social services in Fresno. That happened. Yeah, you have your intel up your ass. She goes, shut up. Oh, please. Oh, please. They made us do it in Fresno. We're innocent. Sure. Fucking retard. Human intelligence of Fresno. Now I'm going to claim, you're from Fresno. Your parents are from Fresno. My parents are not from Fresno, and I'm not from Fresno. Even Disneyland knows that. You're fucking mentally retarded. Custody retirements of Fresno. In Ambrit, middle school at the age of 10 to 12, there was Via Bonelli and Via Mortacci Dua. You know what that means? Via Mortacci. If you say Via Morte, it's the street of death. Via Mortacci means it's Roman. Like me. Almost. I can't believe they put me back like this. She did, and piss there, piss there. Oh, but Farty also gives out tragedy comedy with this girl. Jordy's not yours. There goes the divorce. Was that you want to marry? Anyway, come back to what I was saying. Mortacci means I'll kill everybody. You and your family. It's Roman. And that was accurate between the ages of 10 and 12. So much for Lord of the Rings and for your health. Sports what? That's what in a joke. They're making a joke out of it, motherfuckers, in 80 countries. They're getting one for the US, 81. Motherfucker, I'm the best. Best. We're on the Ghost Nines. We're up in my shit. You can't even do the fucking cancer shit. Pink. But that's old news on the news, bitch. And man, it was a ship to yacht with bridges, and that's the old news on the news. If a leader has buildings that are empty and space technology, and they stick in cancer because they say that she's well-rounded in sciences, Dramilla! Remember the name. Caput. The only problem is that girl's dead on the coastline, so she has her head smashed in, with her teeth smashed in, and those buildings are empty. As for Fresno, where the parents are in retirement, hanging benches of Lara Quintus and Nolly Direct defending both parents. Oh, I gotta get that. Oh, many. Hey, Jimmy, look at yourself. Exactly, this is called Glenfield. Athletes for sale? Your own bazaar. Anyway, what that shit is this? But a bit strange, huh? Just a little. U.S. Fascist, dictatorship, anarchism, pasta, signora. But you're not yourself, I can say it. Okay, you go ahead. You go ahead with all the gossip and all the noise around the capital. You speak about the zoo and president. For the matter! Handed everything, motherfucker. Bomb that place. Politically correct. Let's not be woke. Let's just be politically correct. And plus, you should know that. Yeah, but if I say it, they'll say I'm a criminal. I'm a psycho. I have psychosis. No, you don't. I'm a psycho. No. I don't fucking bomb that down. I'm gonna hear that from me. And that's all in 80 countries? That's connected us for what's the about? For me alone? What about the parents there? The parents are the parents. I am I. And plus, I was multitasking. I used to be elsewhere on the coastline. They're on retirement, the president. U.S. Middle of the desert of California. Therefore, you have people coming up to me, saying to me how great and intelligent they are. I say, you're great and intelligent? Okay. Do you have the instrument for the headache machine? Please. Huh? With all the t-shirts and cats, the dogs, the birds, the bees, the whole shit going, all those capitals. I can't take it anymore. People looking at me like, they put that baby between all the pattern enough connected us with white. We lost. And I'm looking at them as I say, it was a ship, yeah. I know that. But this relic is not going to be sitting there and kissing your ass over that. It's over. Ain't changing nothing, not even a pink-ass cancer. Except the other. What about Fresno, the retirements of the parents? What about Scott Glenfield? I mean, you're so advanced. Your parents have so worked. Such good, positive. No, defended by Lara Quintus in the Supreme Court, born in the same hospital as me. It's good news on any living news. Natalie Durek, both of them. And as defending the parents. And as for me, to say it, they may have wanted to defend me, but if you can see it coming from China, like I have a feeling that girl's gonna have her head smashed in on the coastlines and this little will come out and you know, when they say something's obvious, that obvious. And, you know, royalty doesn't get that treatment. Not with cement trucks for over 20 years in Brussels, not for the cats, the dogs, the birds, the bees in capital cities. Since I was younger, I don't have to say that to you on Facebook. I don't have to say that to you at all. 147-221. I don't have to say you nothing. Intel Delve. Sorry. It's not a question of agreeing or disagreeing, because that's what you're doing. You're either agreeing or disagreeing. This girl didn't come back to tell you that in this format for nothing. And if there really exist these Ubermensch and all these buildings around the world that look like me and have different age groups, you have to explain to the people how the original girl, jawohl, a byproduct of stupid times with blood maze, after smashing her head in on the coastlines, got to do that. That girl must have been something else. And that's why you were saying the big one, Saudi, Russia. Yeah. But if you killed the intel and the leader on the coastlines with a smashed in head and you had the intel before from her, then you are the culprits. Stop. You're not patriots. You're just being retards right now. Because if that shit's empty, even the pink shit can't be reopened, it means that you didn't do it yourself on the coastlines. Do it yourself. The best. That's why they say, when those children do come around, once in a blue moon, with parents like that, watch out. She even has sponsors, or had. That thing, that freak. Hate her. And that's why they're calling you mentally retarded. And that's why this is Coquelin film. And that's why I'm mentioning Fresno for the parents of retirements and your hate towards me. Even the verbal hate. Those nurses, the intel of Fresno, the town, the guy who runs it, the others. It's not that I wanted to live forever. I don't want to see Ubers of that Uber mansion. When I went to the Dar es Salaam neighborhoods, Rome and London, I knew the egg, the pterodactyl, there was all news on the news, the nails in the UN and Western Europe. Yeah, lookalikes. No, when I went to Russia, to the Dar es Salaam neighborhoods in Cairo, Saudi Arabia, the Dar is the port. On the literal crawlies, I think it was after, 7 years? When I was in the Mediterranean. I spent 5 times in most Cairo. I've been there since I was a child. Yeah. And they looked at me and these people are either on alcohol or on drugs or poverty, and they look at me and say, Jamila, they run. Jamila, you're alive. I thought that. I thought that girl was dead. Is that her? They did it. And these are people with no education. Yes, and there's a poverty of the world. Looking at the, maybe not the crawlies, the literal crawlies of that guy. Crawlies and literal crawlies, yeah. This is not intel. This is not that shit on the coastlines that was lost. The bridges, the buildings of advanced shit. That's why you can't even reopen Picasso. Cancer. Bajibadavori. Ghana. It's my old news on the news. Blim, 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 blim. Because and the cycles. I hate your bitch. I'll kill your bitch. I'll rape your bitch. You are fucking. You're not even criminal. You're retarded criminals. So that's what they sent from Fresno to Frisco from me. That's what I deserve. Okay? So it's not a question of the Vatican and the others saying the US is say out fuck. When they say the Barilla guy, the mayor of Rome, when I was a gag over there. Yeah. Better to lose with the most intelligent, professionals than to win with the stupid. And I look at him and say, I don't like freaking cliches from my school. And he's looking at me. Motherfucker, look how they brought you back. Okay. What about the parents? Otherwise, I'm born and raised in Rome. Shove it up your ass, do something yourself in history, die, lose, in such quantities, have a ship on yacht, and then shut the fuck up, bitches. And put your PhDs where they belong, in your ass. And don't rape me, and if you do, don't worry, I'll be the best prostitute. After smashing my head in on the coastlines, I've decided that if you do manage to make a prostitute out of me, I will be the best prostitute in history. Baby, fucking assholes. History of Italian. They're a long civilian. What are you doing it on purpose? Yeah. Why? Because they're assholes. But that's not normal. No, it's not. None of it on the coastlines is normal. None of this, none of this. Why are you doing that? What about Fresno for the parents? That's something else. The parents is the parents and alcohol. That's the best dog beast. Party counts beyond the capital cities, champions going out there when they're babies. Already champions by the age of 10, 13, 14. Pioneer champions, sports, who knows what else. Hired as D1s, also, this is what you say. Marafanculo. The jobs. Even the radio. Stop the world. Let them know you fight. Who owns public radio in Fresno, by the way? I can't take that place for long. Even at Disney. I hear that shit. I go to Trias. I go to others, It's far away, it's Alaska, Then I have to go abroad, other states, every year for a few months, What about the parents? In other words, this is Coquelin Film US. On my crawlies, and little crawlies. After you smashed the original girl's head in on the coastlines. And if you think that there's nothing behind that girl after you smashed her head in on the coastlines, think twice, blues. That's the Dar es Salaam neighborhood's blues. It's because it's technically non-existent. It exists. Here we go. So that's what they mean by eggs in the UN. That's what they meant by the Uber-mentioned genetic schools. When Girkan, Vanessa, Claudia, they call them the three beauties. Some are genetic, anyway. And he said, this is old news on the news, obviously. They say, stay in Rome for a dance with the Scotland. Save yourself this hassle, the dangers and all that, and the craziness and all that. And that's not even mentioning friends of parents or retirements and all that. And beyond, they're not kidding. That's at the age of 7. So I cannot be talking to 5-year-old retards who don't like to hear the truth of the US and why the US loses sometimes big on the ghost lines. That's why. This was your hate. It's not a question of sending psychos to shut me up. Especially not this one. Not because of the blessings, but because of what she was famous and known for and what you were known and famous for when you smashed her head on the ghost lines. When they bring back something like this, they're not kidding. But that's the others. They said you shouldn't be in the school. They simply said you don't belong here. Why? Because that girl shouldn't have died that way. Shouldn't be in those schools. But she is. Much of the adoption agencies. So when they said the Roman Bazaar, athletes for sale, I'm thinking to myself, I goes to Scotland film, man of fight. So it's all news on the news in Western Europe. And when they say, Evelyn, come here, baby. She pulling things. She's like, look at what I got. I'm bad enough. Some of them are happy. Fuck. The void on the ghost line is so fucking stupid. They waste so much shit on the US. They're fucking retarded. Look at all this shit coming out of here. Never ending. It's a never ending story. Motherfucker, stay in row for retirement. Adoption agencies are over that one. For the parents, I don't know what to tell you. Other than fuck you. From who knows where. You have to find, by now, I need to find another dictionary altogether. Because that many flies, that many runnings, that many cruising and crawlies in there around the capital cities. The buying camps beyond the capital cities. That's what they saw. That's what they know about them. And their jobs, D1s or shorties, you are USAID. What is wrong with you in Fresno? Intelligence, even your girlfriends in the nursing homes. You're not friends. You're criminals. And your boyfriends are criminals. Puppy dicks and all. Privates and all. You are the worst town and the most stupid town in the US. You have that reputation in Fresno, your famous intelligence that you claim, together with your leader, Tom and Jerry Dardaus, his buddies, his friends, and everyone else. Are you out of your mind? Do you know how dangerous it is for somebody to do that many flyings and runnings and crawlies in there? Out of your the Ghost Lines lost intel by default, if you could see it coming from China. Fresno? For the parents or retirements? US, this is very unusual. But in the moment when you needed that intel, July 2021st, you lost it on the Ghost Lines. That doesn't happen. And when it does happen, it makes history. Because you had that intel before, and then you fucking killed it. The bridges, the ship to yacht is old news on the news. If you send me your cycles, it's not going to help. So what I'm saying to you is what's colloquial. This is Harry Potter gossip in those 80 countries, unless you want to call Ame minus Rika minus, 81. Just for that on the Ghost Lines. Understand that? Understand. Join us from Disneyland. Listen, so I don't have the patience of Mother Teresa Calcutta to see all these cycles of fucking bitches following me and trying to hurt me. I don't. Especially if I was famous for that and you were famous for smashing that girl's head in on the Ghost Lines and I'm a replacement child. This is not normal. Many people thought that crab was the original. They know even about the eggs, the blues. These are the poorest people on the planet on all those crazy little growlies. I don't have control over that. Who does? Who has control over the ship to yacht with all that intel? Not me. I'm sorry. What was mine? They shut down in the various countries. And Massachusetts and New York and DC and the NASA shit, the mathematics. You were going to learn that. It's gone. The ship to yacht is gone long ago. You bring back the Indians gone with the wind and still have problems with me. You're sick. And even you know about the blues. You're not sick, you're assholes. And your bitches are bitches. And there's no way that you can have revolutions or you can have blessings from everyone on the fucking planet, seeing it coming from China. You can see it all from abroad and everywhere else after so many flyings and runnings and then the Rickrollies. They said only the flyings is accepted. 92, 92 and above. That many times. Why? Because on 85, 85, on her runnings, and eventually, for her, arrivederci, with the entire ship and the entire yacht. And that's what you didn't like. You didn't like the losses because you can't do the losses yourselves. That's called not normal reaction. So you could take a weak, fragile dead baby, put her through all that. She'll still come up shining. Why? Connected those who are wise to good baths. Why? Because you're assholes! You're such big assholes that everyone on the fucking planet, including the cats, dogs, birds, and bees, and everyone else in this fucking zoo of this world, is telling you to your fucking face! And you speak about a facial, beyond a facial, and everything. You're just assholes! You should have gone to Fresno, and you should have done what you should have done, and you know what? Trial each other friends. And as for the shit that you sent here for your fun, you're also going to be paying for that. Why? Because that shit's not going to reopen for your fucking ass! Delph! Shoot the yacht was on the I mean, you would. Prevention is better than the cure, even for pink ass. Asshole! Benjamin of Oregana. In other words, when they had the Skull Clan film, they meant it. There's no losses by now to stay and roll for retirements in the Mediterranean. Goodbye. Think of the Italian job, va? Famo prima. Goodbye. I don't know how. Don't speak about it.